Okay, so we start. Apologize, we are 2 minutes late, 3 minutes late, but hello and a warm welcome to all attendees joining today's webinar, which is titled Why and How to Migrate from Oracle Reports to BI Publisher. We have prepared a great session filled with great content, and we do have some excellent speakers lined up, and we are very happy that you all can join the session. We do talk about a topic that has gained quite a bit of attention over the past month, since Oracle has announced that Reports is end of life, and the latest release is the last release and final for Reports that it's supporting. So many people have in mind, what do I do with Oracle Reports in our or their organization? So we are talking about that today, as BI Publisher is an excellent target state option in terms of replacing your Oracle Reports. So presenters that we have lined up for today. First, it's Pradeep Sharma, Senior Principal Product Manager from Oracle. So we are very excited to hear him speak today, providing latest inside view about BI Publisher and get information out of first hand. We also have Stefan Larocca, my colleague who heads up business development at PITS, and he's based in Germany. And myself, Sasha Sander, working in sales at PITS, and it's a pleasure for me to moderate and take you through a quick tour through today's session. So I hope my co-speakers hear me very well, and Pradeep, Stefan, great that you are with us.
Thank you. Looking forward to the presentation.
Yep, thank you.
So what are we talking about the next hour? First, it's the benefits of BI Publisher, a general overview on the product and solution. And Pradeep will take over, and I'm pretty sure that once Pradeep will go over his presentation, you will see why BI Publisher is an ideal solution in terms of replacing your Oracle reports. We will also talk about migration, some Oracle reports to BI Publisher, and this is something Stefan will be involved in. Some presentation will be based on our tool, most of you known as the PITSCon. And PITSCon has been enhanced to support this type of reports migration. We have some excellent functionality that our team has enhanced here in the tool, and I'm pretty sure you enjoy and see the value it can provide here. Well, finally, I will close with a quick overview of some services and solutions we offer for organizations, for companies looking for migration of their reports, or looking for a strategy for developing a roadmap for replacing their reports on a future state technology. We already had a number of questions that a lot of you have asked during the registration process already, and we're gonna address these at the end of our session today. But if you do have any questions during the session, we will have the opportunity to use the Q&A button at the top of the screen. So please feel free to place your questions here to be discussed and answered in the Q&A session. So the topic reports, why is this reports migration topic so important? Well, Oracle is clear with its statement, as mentioned before, the statement of direction for reports, that it's end of life and that version 12 is the final version for reports. Also, there is extended support throughout 2022, 23, but yeah, you think some time left, but we are really convinced that now is a time to be forming your strategy. It doesn't make sense until you're forced to do something to move forward. You should always have a strategy in place for your mission-critical legacy applications. And that's what we will discuss today. And this is what you discuss with our customers every day as well. So will be a very interesting session today, and before turning over to Pradeep, let's take a quick opportunity for a quick poll at the beginning. It's always important to see for us what your guys are using currently, what are your plans of to do this reports, and definitely it will be also interesting for you as we do present the result of the polls directly after. So my colleague already started the poll. The first question is, when are you planning to start your reports migration project? Appreciate, just tick the box What are your plans about? What timeline? If it's 2018 this year will be great, 2090 also very fine, or even later if you haven't scheduled this already. Just keep it open for a few seconds. Okay. Let's wait a few moments so that everybody can tick the box. Thank you. So here you see the result already. So 40% of attendees are really already in plans to do this migration. So this is a hot topic for a lot of companies. Another 35% are in plans to do that. So it's really a preparation phase, forming a strategy, just as I mentioned before. And about a quarter of attendees are really thinking about in the next step. Okay, thank you very much. And we do have another quick poll. Appreciate again if you can tick the box. So the question is, where do you see the main difficulties in your reports migration project? You can have several choices. Tick the box here. Just think about making the right technology choice. Size of a report is a criteria, of course, the complexity. Always important, the decision makers. Okay. Please go through. Tick the box, all the boxes. Appreciate. So let's have a look on the result. And you should see in a few seconds. Okay. Good. So yeah, it's always very interesting to see here. So on top of this, it's really the complexity of the reports that you consider. Question about the right technology choice and the missing knowledge. I think these are all topics that we will address today. And you will see after the session, probably we will bring more light or answers to your complaints here, to the question that you have here. Okay, so far from my side, thank you all for this participation. It's really interesting. So I'm very excited because we have more than 150 registrations here for this session today again, and I think it's a quite representative result. So that said, I will go ahead and turn over to Pradeep to present his part of the presentation. Pradeep, hope that you hear me well, and go ahead, please.
Sure. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
So I start with the safe harbor statement that whatever I present here may not be incorporated into any contract. So with that, hi everyone, very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Pradeep Sharma, Senior Principal Product Manager in Oracle Business Analytics team. I've been with Oracle for over 12 years now, work from Hyderabad, India, and have been a product manager for BI Publisher from very first day in Oracle. And today I also manage the BI presentation services, which includes answers, dashboard, composer, etc. And I'm also managing few components in the Oracle Analytics Cloud. So in today's session, I see that we have a good number of people joined, and I'm not sure, the knowledge of everyone in this session about BI Publisher. So I'm including a very quick overview about BI Publisher. Then we'll see, why we need BI Publisher. I'll also quickly, at a high level, talk about migrating from Oracle reports. Then I'll show one slide which covers all the products and application integration for BI Publisher today within Oracle, and also talk about what's new in BI Publisher and the roadmap. So BI Publisher is a strategic component for Oracle in terms of enterprise reporting. So it gives you the ability to create or rather author, generate report as an end user or deliver to a variety of destinations from one single environment. So many of you, if you have used Oracle Report, you'll be able to relate this, that when it comes to catering to a variety of business documents, be it checks, reports, invoices, or even like say do EFT, EDI kind of a documentation, the classic reporting tools have this difficulty. They don't comply to all these requirements. And with Publisher, you get all in one, and the benefits are it eliminates the complexity, simplifies the report development, reduces the overall cost of operations, and even the cost of development. So this is a bird's eye view of Publisher, end-to-end picture, that it is able to talk to a variety of data sources and bring all the data in an XML format, and it can merge it with different types of layout template that it supports. So it can be either interactive layout, or it can be an RTF template, Excel, PDF, Flash, XSL, etc. And then can create different types of output formats as listed here, and can send to different destinations as shown in this picture. So let's look at some of the document that BI Publisher is able to generate today. So it can be an invoice where you can see different line items where tabular representation of the data, where either the number of rows might be fixed, or the table height of the invoice might be fixed. It can be a correspondence letter, a purchase order where you have again different alignments and tabular representations along with the vendor signature, etc. A marketing collateral. It can be a financial document such as an EFT or an EDI document, a financial statement. You can even bring in a PDF form from a government website such as W2 form in this case, and then merge with your employee data, and then you can generate W2. It can create operational reports. For example, in this case, URS Corporation is using Publisher, where they are looking at the planned full-time equivalent versus the forecasted and actual data. And there's a window of a certain number of days, and they are kind of monitoring on a regular basis using a chart on top, and then all the bars are aligned with the tabular data underneath it. You can even create management style report and also have interactivity, where the interactive output gives you the ability to hover and see the values on top of it, or you have the Excel type of ability to sort the data on the tabular data. You can even create retail format where the printing is costly, and you would like to create a low footprint for printing, and but still would like to have the formatting in place. So you have column wise data, you have header and footer, and then pagination there. Or it can be shipping labels with the barcode, and it can be even another barcode like PDF 417, primarily used in the airline industry. Or you can create a QR code used these days with marketing, where you scan this barcode, and then it will redirect your mobile device to go to that appropriate website. It can be a bank check where you have a Micker font at the bottom for the routing number, check number, and then you have the amount in Word, and then you have a signature on the check. So all that Publisher is able to generate, and I would like to see why why we go for BI Publisher. So many of you who have used Oracle reports, Oracle report in itself has been a good reporting tool, and Publisher today is able to match almost all the capabilities of Oracle report, and then gives additional capabilities in terms of layout handling. So when it comes to complex layout, and then Publisher has got multiple layout template that it supports, like RTF, Excel, PDF, and so on. So it gives you the ability to handle any complex layout requirement. Either you want to create a cross tab, or you want to create a pivot structure, or you want to have a dynamic column formatting or a conditional formatting, etc. Then it can also handle complex data. So when you move from Oracle Report, basically Oracle Report does support a parent-child relationship in the data sets, and that's what Publisher is also able to support. And it also gives you the additional ability to talk to a variety of data sources, such as web services, HTTP, file as data sources, and you can bring in data from all different sources, also create link within the data, and use it within your report. Ease of integration. So it gives you the ability to interact or kind of include the Publisher report within your application using either web services or REST APIs. Performance, you will be able to generate a throughput somewhere close to 800 PDF pages per second using some of the high performing servers. When it comes to scheduling, Publisher is able to cater to all different scheduling frequencies that you would need in a corporate or an enterprise. Bursting is a feature where you can split one single large data, and each fragment of the data can be merged with a different layout, and at the same time it can be delivered to a variety of destinations. So it merges with a different layout, creates a output, either PDF, HTML, whatever you have selected based on the bursting query preferences, and then it will be delivered to a destination accordingly. So one single job can send thousands of documents, and then one such use case could be like employee salary slips to be sent on a particular day. Then it supports subtemplates, so you can reuse your code or functions and store it in one place. For example, you want to have all the headers and footers in one place, so that you just change in one place, and all your reports gets updated based on your subtemplate change. Similarly, you can have style template, where all your report can have a certain style, look and feel, and if you change in one place, again all your reports will reflect the same style across. So it helps when you are working on a rebranding kind of effort. BI Publisher has a strong multilingual capabilities, so it uses XLIF file, and it does support 185 languages and 244 territories today. Lastly, it supports, and then today BI Publisher is on cloud, so you can leverage the abilities on cloud, where with few clicks you can either scale up or you can scale out. And also, you have a lot better ability to look at the logs, and a lot of self-service features and functionalities are in place, and you can also take advantage of the pricing factor when it comes as a metered services, or even in the non-metered subscription model. So I've just put together few slides on why BI Publisher, and taking example of some of the companies, how they have benefited. So here is an example of MasterCard worldwide, where the challenge for them was they used to create purchase orders for 50 units across the globe, and main thing was they had vendor country terms and conditions. So multiple languages they had to cater to. So creating such a purchase order where it was to handle different country terms and conditions, it used to take close to 3 months with 3 people involved. With BI Publisher, this was reduced down from 3 months to 3 to 5 days, and just one person to create this purchase order. So we see that there's a 12x faster implementation. You need just 1/3 fewer people here, over 90% reduction in turnaround time, and everything managed by BI Publisher out of the box. Then BI Publisher is better managed. So this is an example of Gallup, where they had over 200 crystal reports. Many of them were cumbersome reports, but one of the things that was creating the count as 200 was they had many duplicate reports with just minor layout changes, or having some multilingual differences in those reports. So in case of BI Publisher, it separates the data, layout, and translation as 3 separate layers. and it will still be one report. So by that, the entire count reduced down from 200 to 30 reports. So immediately it's a 85% reduction on the number of reports to manage. Also, it required 3 months for one person full time to develop these reports. So again, the effort required was reduced drastically, and we know that Gallup had a BI publisher as one of the products where they gave their own rating. So end users and IT staff, they kind of gave a rating to BI publisher that all their employees were happy about this product. And the last one is about high performance consolidated graphics. So primarily, they are a leading vendor in terms of digital printing and graphics handling. So they used to generate around 0.1 million enrollment forms, and it used to take close to 48 hours for them. Now, around that time, they used to run all these on .NET servers, and it used to take 24 hours to generate some 4,000 forms. And they were also, since these were heavy on printing or kind of pixel usage perspective, they were all graphical documents. So they used to use a lot more resources. So 24 .NET servers and 50 people used to monitor any failure. So if there was a failure, they used to resubmit those jobs. So in case of BI Publisher with a highly scalable architecture, these reports were performing much better. So now same count of forms can be generated in 3 hours. So, and then it was all achieved with just one BI Publisher server and 2 .NET servers, still handling some of the backend processing. So it kind of improved the performance again, 8 times faster, and then 1/8 of resources in terms of server. So now let's look at migrating from Oracle report. So I'll not go very deep again on this, and I know Stefan will be covering a lot in this subject. So what I'll do is I'll just cover a high level that Publisher has a tool already out there, a conversion assistant tool. But before we get into a tool, I think it's very important to understand that two reporting tools have a lot of differences. Even if it is coming from same organization, there are technological differences because one was created in one era and a publisher being created in J2E kind of era. So there's always a difficulty of conversion, and it does handle the simple to medium complex reports. But when it comes to an extremely complex report, sometimes it will be able to generate, but in many of the cases you'll see that the tool has not done the job well. So that limitations will be there. Then format triggers, part of the Oracle report. They are primarily a layout kind of logic. So those have to be incorporated on the layout side. So that cannot be converted on the go while converting. We also, later on when this tool was kind of improved, we included the XPT layout. So charts can be handled in the XPT, but not in RTF. So when you convert, it creates both RTF and XPT file for you. But XPT is where it will be able to even convert the chart, but it will not be able to do the same for in the RTF. So RTF will be a very plain and simple tabular kind of representation. So you'll still have to do the additional work on the RTF to make it look like your Oracle report. So it does the majority of the work on the data handling side. And another example is the matrix reports cannot be converted here. And as you can see in the diagram, at a high level, again, I'll mention that, you feed either the RDF file or you can also use the RDF XML. And when you run the tool, it will generate 2 components of it, the XDMZ, which is the data model archived file, and then the XDOZ, which is the report archive file. So these 2 will take care of, including everything from your report perspective. And then there will be a log file where it will write anything which did not get converted, for example, a format trigger. So it will mention it in the log file. And the function will be included there so that you can simply take it from there. And it will also create a set of PL SQL files which you can compile. So there are certain functions which are data handling functions. Those will be converted into these PLS files, and you just have to compile and incorporate in the database. So once you compile and upload these files on the server, you are good to go. So in most of the cases, your simple to medium complex reports will be ready to run just after you are done with these steps. So give you some examples within the Oracle team itself. So eBusiness Suite uses a BI Publisher today. So in the past, they have been only on Oracle reports, but then BI Publisher became the strategic direction, and they use this tool to migrate close to 3,000 of their Oracle reports. And when BI Publisher was introduced, it was done in two stages, where initially Oracle report used to create the data, so it will generate the XML file, and then as a part of post processing, it will add the BI Publisher layout and then merge it and create the report out of it. So that's how it used to work. But then BI Publisher later on added data template in 11G, and then that could which was in terms of EBS, it is still 10G. So basically, with data template, now we are able to convert all these data complexities of Oracle report. So it becomes a single step approach of moving away from Oracle report to BI Publisher in Business Suite. Then another team, Oracle Financial Services, which was iFlex earlier in India. So when they came on board with Oracle, they were using Oracle report. All their canned reports they converted using the conversion assistant. So this tool has been used and tested within the Oracle teams itself, and then also has been used by customers externally. So the more details will come, once Stefan gets into the details of his part of the session. But I wanted to make a point here that, yeah, I mean, a team like a PITS will certainly be a good help in these cases where they have a good understanding of both Oracle report and as well as BI Publisher. And when it comes to a report conversion, it is very important that you validate the data and as well as validate the report. So if your data is not coming accurately, then that's the first problem that you're creating. So I think an expertise or a team of PITS is where I think you'll see that comfort that they'll have all the expertise to help you move from Oracle report to BI Publisher. So this slide just covers the integration that Publisher has today with different Oracle products and applications. So in terms of how BI Publisher is available today, so the on-prem releases are 10G, 11G, and 12C. So these are the major versions. Internally, there are several other versions within 10G, 11G, and 12C. And then we have the cloud offering. So initially, we certified BI Publisher on Java Cloud Services, and only recently, December 2017, we have released BI Publisher on Oracle Analytics Cloud. So today it has integration with different Oracle apps. As you can see, eBusiness Suite, PeopleSoft, Sibyl CRM, JD Edwards, and even Fusion applications are using it. And there are different middleware products which is using BI Publisher for their own internal report generation. And then we have GBUs that are catering to different applications or different types of customer requirements. And like financial services, one such example I already mentioned. So they are using BI Publisher to generate reports within their products. So it's like more than 90 products within Oracle is using BI Publisher today. So let's look at what's new today. So as I mentioned, BI Publisher is now onboarded with Oracle Analytics Cloud only in December 2017. And the reason to bring BI Publisher onto Oracle Analytics Cloud was, though it has very strong data visualization capabilities, it has S-base for doing a lot of data. I would say data analysis part, and then it also has BICS, which is Business Intelligence Cloud Services, that does a lot of data modeling part using the BI analysis. So all those strength did exist, but then when it came to the pixel perfect reporting is where publisher pushed in. So now you can as well create pixel perfect report and also handle the multilingual ability there. And BI publisher does interact with the subject area within Wix. It can talk to the BI analysis and also to the RPD within the Wix. So it can pull data from the Wix environment, and down the line it will also have ability. So that's on the roadmap to have interaction with DB data sources, and also it has the ability to talk to the SPACE. So it will have a very closely integrated model where it can leverage the data available there, and give customers the ability to create a pixel perfect report. You can deliver report to anywhere. So all the on-prem functionality of scheduling, bursting is available there. Also with secure data handling. So data can be encrypted when you upload, and also when you deliver. So those features are there. Then we support PDF-A for archival, and then PDF-UA specification for accessibility. So all these are, PDF-UA especially has been introduced in the OAC environment. PDF-A was supported, in previous versions also. And then that's where now on the cloud it gives you the business agility and financial efficiency, where you can scale on demand. So you can either scale up or scale out based on your need, and it doesn't require a capex in such scaling out. And also it allows you to focus more on the application than to deal with the technology within. So here is a roadmap, and this roadmap covers what was brought in 2017, and then what's going to be done this year and beyond 12 months. So in 2017, 12.213 was released with several features. I can just mention a couple of them. So you can see that the ability to set job priority in the scheduler was introduced here. Also, job recovery is one such feature. Now, coming to BI Publisher in OAC v4, I already talked about the accessible PDF. Then you have some self-service ability to diagnose or kind of pull the logs for online report, and then you can purge the job history. So as and when your job history inflates in terms of data storage, you can keep purging it. Then we have these two barcode supports, which I already showed in the previous slides, and then command line utility to manage configuration. So the cloud-based capabilities are being introduced now. And then there are a lot of enhancements that went in Fusion applications. So what's going to happen in next 12 months? So BI Publisher supports REST API, but it does not have the scheduling REST APIs today. So that's what will be coming very soon. Then we are going to support DSS as a data source. So this will enable us to talk to the data visualization. So DB will, the data set that you create in DB can be used within BI Publisher. Excel template has been there for quite some time, so we will also upgrade the Excel template to a newer version of an Excel format to create an XLSX file format. So now you'll also be able to leverage the features and functionalities coming in Office 10 or Office 16. SBase, so we already connect with SBase, but there are enhancements where POV concept is being introduced. So there is a point of view concept within a space where you can select again those dimensions and the members. So those are being introduced. Then there are a lot of enhancements around performance, audit and monitoring, and then improving the capabilities within the template itself. So we will see a lot of these kind of self-service functionalities coming into picture. Again, there are a lot of enhancement in the pipeline for Fusion applications, and beyond 12 months, we will look towards developing multi-tenancy. So what we have today is not a multi-tenant environment, but we will be able to cater to such requirement with the existing functionality, but it is not a purely multi-tenant environment. So that is something that we will look forward to develop soon. And then we will bring in social collaboration, then ADF Jet UI implementation, and more towards accessibility features and functionalities. So that kind of covers what we have on the roadmap. And certainly there is a lot of excitement now that publisher is onboarded with Analytics Cloud Suite. We will see a lot of features and functionalities that will be coming soon. So with that, I complete my part of the presentation, and I will hand it back to Sasha. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Pradeep, for your great presentation. So yeah, let's go forward directly. Turn over to Stefan.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So let me share my screen and start my presentation. So could you see my slide?
Yeah, perfect. Go ahead, please.
Wonderful. First of all, many thanks, Pradeep, for the very deep insight of what's going on in BI Publisher and how things are developed. My part now covers more or less the process for the migration and the tool we set up to improve all these functionality during the migration. As Pradeep said, and as you put it into the poll, the most complex thing or the most thing of interest is the complexity of the reports. And thanks for answering that question. That is exactly what we figure out. The report landscape could be very complex and very heavy to manage. And that is why PITS is over there. We are able to simplify the complexity of your reporting landscape with our tool approach. With this, let's first start on the different perspective on the migration process. Everybody could figure out what are the main objectives for such a migration. The user like to have a very modern looking report. The IT department has to know the old and the new technology and find out what is going on inside the reports. Reports are out there for more than 20 years and nobody knows exactly what is in the oldest report, how do they interact with each other, and what is the data model good for. And the CEO like to have a very clear budget in mind and wants to know what is the effort at the end to migrate from Oracle reports to BI Publisher. And for that, we take the existing report landscape more or less like a blueprint for the migration path. All things which are needed are still inside the reports, and we figure out project with more than hundreds and hundreds of reports, and inside there are potentially 4 or 5 queries linked each other with groups, etc. And that is a context we figured or we faced with. And to manage that, we set up a tool that is called the Reports Replacer Kit. And with this, we run through a very dedicated process and very step-forward process to reduce the complexity, to ease the reports, and to prepare everything necessary to have a very clear and straightforward migration. And afterwards, we speed up the steps necessary inside the template builder or the Word template builder. So what we figure out is, you see one of those projects try to reduce the complexity by bounding similar reports together. And with our tool, we are able to check redundancy and see what are the same reports and how could they bring together into one. How could we achieve that? We have a very deep inside knowledge about the report after it's loaded into the repository. So we know exactly what components are the reports from, which tables are consumed, which queries are set up, which functions and procedures are used. With this, we are able to clean up the reports before we start the migration. So we could bound similar reports based on queries together. We are able to move function and procedures with common functions like you use in more than one report to move them to a common database package to allow a reuse in different reports. Even how reports are consumed are able to identify with our tool. So if we are loaded the complete application into the PITSCon repository, we check all the dependencies coming up from Forms modules or Java Beans or menu modules, and we could see which RDFs are called from different Forms perspectives. With this, we could advise some kind of clustering later on for a very good and best practice architecture for the BI Publisher server. So with this, a clustering is very easy to achieve. But how is our process run through and what do we achieve during this process? We start after we load the reports into our repository with a check of implementation. We do that because we believe in the fact that it doesn't make sense to move bad written code or wrong code into the database for reusing. So we clean up the code. We check the code quality. We look what is movable as business logic to DB, and we move that code, that is trigger code or program units, which are not able to use anymore. So we reduce the complexity of the reports, first step. The second step is we measure the report complexity for a very good project plan. That is, we take care about the data metrics, the layout metrics, and the metrics for logic. And last but not least, we set up a very straightforward project plan that is a clustered-wise, infrastructure-wise, and we could measure how long does it take to fine-tune all your reports. Some very quick samples out of that. Though we take care about your fonts, and that is a measurement or for all reports to see which quality of fonts or which quality of layout in your reports is available. The more fonts you use, we believe, the less the CI is straightforward into your reports. As a second sample, we take care about the complexity. So the complexity of all your application and for each and every report. So we identify beforehand what are the most complex reports, which are good candidates for perhaps refactoring or rearrangement. This is done by a couple of metrics we measure through your application with our tool. So we take care about all necessary indicators to see which kind of reports are best prepared for the migration kit and which are very complex. At the end, we stop or we end up with a complete project plan to allow you a fine-tuned project management and an exact budget plan for moving your reports, and that is no matter how much or how many reports you have to BI Publisher. Our report or our tool itself supports the migration step and allow a clustering of your reports and move your Oracle reports to the BI Publisher. And that is what I like to show you in a very quick live demo. So let's skip over to our website. And that is a reports replacer kit you see. For the preparation, I load a couple of modules into the tool, and you are able to start a cluster management. Sorry, just relog in the tool. You start a cluster management, and with these cluster management, you are able to identify different kind of groups of reports. For this very simple example, I create one cluster with one report underneath, and that is the one we like to move to our BI Publisher. The cluster has the advantage that you can group your reports in the deployment process to BI Publisher. If you think about 1,000 reports, it doesn't make sense to move 1,000 reports in one folder. You cluster that into subsystems. So we choose one of those cluster systems and migrate them to the BI Publisher. In the back end, we now improve the data model and simplify the data model so that the BI conversion tool that Pradeep mentioned can do a good job. And more than that, we use the RDF template, which is generated by the conversion tool, and fine-tune that conversion, that RDF template. That is, we insert all format triggers which are available beforehand in the Oracle reports. We take care about formatting on fields, and we take care about formatting on group level as well. So you see, we have a new cluster generated with one file inside, and we have a couple of results from the migration tool, and we can download the data model, the report, and the RTF template. So let's do that. We download the RTF template, and we switch to a Word running environment to open these template. So we go to the download folder. That is a file branch RTF file we generated, or we download right now. And you see a very simple RTF file. You know, perhaps the BI Publisher conversion tool will plug in for the Word template builder, and we generate by the generation some sample data files. So let's open one of those as a sample data file for this report. And what you see over here is we do take care about the format trigger. So we have written a translator for PL SQL formatting to XSLFO. So most of the format triggers are now part of the report, and you don't take care about that. You can focus on some layout adjustments. To achieve that more performance inside the layout, we generate a plugin on our own to improve. So you see perhaps on top, there's a page number and total pages not yet converted from the reports, but we have some tools to migrate that as well. So we can use that macro, and we see over here now we have the possibility to have a real experience from the Word plugin for the page numbers. And with these Replacer Kit, we provide a couple of extra features as well. So you can learn about the XSL templates. You see which PL SQL statements are used in the report beforehand and what are the representative in XSLFO. So to use them, you can take copy and paste to move that into your layout. At the end, for the complete report, so let me get back to the report, we provide a work list. So what is to do for the report migration, and the work list skip back or go back directly to our web page and give you a detailed overview what is original part of your Oracle report, what are the PL SQL code behind, and which kind of XSLFO code we generated to speed up your migration process. At the end of the day, with some minor adjustments for layout and some font changes, you have a very good report, and you can see the report looks more or less similar to that what's generated beforehand from the Oracle report, and that is done in a couple of minutes. So let me go back to the presentation. So we provide, and that is what Pradeep mentioned before, the Oracle conversion tool do not care about format triggers, but our Replacer Kit do. We have a very good translator from PL SQL to the XSLFO template, and we take care about grouping and field format triggers for different fonts, styles, etc. So we cover all of that. More than that, we provide you with a very good conversation into these new program language, I would like to say. So we move that into the right place. We know where the trigger is, where the item is, and provide you with a work list for those who are not yet done completely. More than that, we also take care about the data model for the conversion tool. So if you use a conversion tool from Oracle without the PITS Replacer Kit, you will struggle with connect by table functions or select stars or select asterisks. And that is what we cover, what we do beforehand. We clean up the data model. We allow you to set up a very clear view layer inside the database and remove the complete SQL logic out of the report into more or less a database, or later on into the data template from the BI publisher. So what we achieve with our Replacer Kit is, from the original Oracle report, we remove all unused, obsolete, and deprecated elements which are no longer used, and add new functionalities and perhaps the change request you have in mind for your report. And we end up with a very good looking UI within the new technology of BI Publisher, and you're able to now use the new functionalities from the BI Publisher. That is, in very quick steps, in very few words and few slides, the benefit of the Oracle Reports Replacer Kit, how we could achieve a very performant migration from Oracle Reports to BI Publisher. With this, I'd like to hand over to Sasha once more for the last Q&A session to answer all these open questions we have gathered before the webinar started. Sasha?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Stefan. Thanks for your presentation. Hold on a second. Get my screen back. Pradeep, Stefan, thank you very much. So a couple of our slides to close things out and to go to the Q&A, as Stefan mentioned, in a minute as well. I'm pretty sure that most of you know PITS already in the past, as PITS and PITSCon has been around since '99. And we are working globally here from our headquarters in Germany, with PITS UK, located in London, in the Americas with PITS LLC out of Troy, Michigan. So we are a truly global company. And we are doing really, really exciting projects. We are doing projects in legacy modernization, from forms and reports to other technologies as ADF, Apex, Spring, Angular, different Java frameworks. So we are really striving different technologies, and this tailored for our customer needs. So helping our clients in bringing them success while helping modernizing their mission critical applications. So for our reports topic today, we do have ideal solutions in place. So specifically talking about the reports, we talked about the benefits of BI Publisher. Stefan had this presentation, including the demo. I don't know, in fact, where you are, but regarding the poll that we had just before, some of you already plan a migration project, some plan for the next year. Some of you consider probably a first analysis where to go or what to do. But regardless where you are in your process, what you're gonna be doing with your Oracle reports, we do have a solution in place that will help you out starting right at once. You can start right now. For example, with a solution it's called Oracle Reports Orientation Day, or a deeper assessment with the Oracle Reports Analysis and Migration Assessment. We do have solutions in place like a full migration reports engagement, all supported by our Reports Replacer Kit, where you seen the short demo right before. Let me point out quickly some of the content here, what you can expect of these PIT solutions. So the Reports Orientation Day is more of a workshop. It's really meant for companies, for organizations that do not have a strategy yet in place, but have a number of critical Oracle reports. Companies that haven't decided yet where to migrate. There are a couple of solutions in the market, but bring us in. Bring us in. We will work with you one day. We will learn about your business requirements. We look inside your internal practical stuff and how your skills look like. And we will go together with you through all the topics like reporting tools that are out there. And we figure out what makes the most sense for your organization based upon the requirements that you have. Another more detailed step, so it's the assessment itself. Well, in general, probably you have heard, or we have heard also about projects that gone bad. And in general, really, you can point out a number of reasons why that happens. But out of our perspective, the main reason is not doing a proper assessment. So there are a lot of organizations out there that think that can either replace a legacy application with something off the shelf, and then they learn, oops, this does not meet my requirements, or only 50%. It has to be customized, and it's never ending. Or companies plan to redevelop from scratch to another technology, same thing. Often without any documentation, whether code documentation or process documentation. We have to be aware that systems have been in place since 20, 25, or even 30 years. How can one expect to redevelop something that has been in place such a long time and does still need all the business requirements? So in this detailed assessment, we use PITSCon, reports functionality, and of course our senior resources, architects, people that have been through these kind of projects before, having performed many migrations and modernization projects, so we know exactly what to look for. We have a dedicated, specific approach here. We do have a preparation phase where we load your entire application code into the PITSCon repository. We break it down in the smallest components. We load the files there. We parse it. There will be the technical code analysis where we identify the business logic distribution Stefan mentioned before, very important also to have a detailed inside view into the code complexity. Well, in general, we will look to all the technical details of your application. And this is very, very important as we provide then, based on the result that we have achieved, a detailed migration report, of course, taking into account your individual required enhancements, your target architecture. If it's BI Publisher, we need to ensure that the benefits BI Publisher will bring architectural as well. So this is also very, very important. And finally, last but not least, we provide and offer a presentation as a part of this migration assessment. We come on site, we present, we deliver the final assessment documents and hand over all these reports and demonstrate how we gather these results. The next step, or as another option in this roadmap, as we have all the resources, we have a full stack team, we have the tooling in place to help you with your migration project. So we can support your organization if you like us to handle the entire migration project, or we can do it more in a flexible manner, in a blended team approach, so where we work jointly with you. And of course, all based on the reports replace the kit, which Stefan demonstrated, the really, really fantastic functionality, and during the process where we support our customers in all their requirements in this modernization processes. So far from my side regarding the solutions. I think we should go now over the questions. We do have a couple of minutes left, so I'd like to address your questions that you have sent us already before. So Pradeep, Stefan, may I ask you to get off mute, as most of these questions are for you as far as I see.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
So let's have a look here. So there's one question. So could I create cross tabs as well? Probably Pradeep.
Yeah, I already mentioned during the presentation itself
Yeah.
that cross tab is one such supported format. Yep.
Okay. There's another one. Are there tools to migrate from Oracle reports to Oracle BI Publisher? Yeah. Stefan?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Simple answer is yes, but
yes. A triple yes here from our side, especially the reports replacer kit. So another question, where the BI Publisher artifact stored, repository file system.
Yeah, so mainly, depending on the versions that we have, so 10G, all the on-prem versions, these are file system based. The place of storage might differ. So in 10G, it used to be stored, PI Publisher used to be as a standalone. In 11G, it became part of the BI catalog. So you have to look for, where the BI catalog is stored. And if you install BI Publisher only, then it becomes again a standalone deployment. So those files are again, separately stored for BI Publisher. So it's all file system. But when you come on the cloud, these needs to be stored on the database. So that's what it is in OAC.
Okay, thank you. There's one question came up. Is it possible to reuse Oracle report files?
So basically, we do use the files in conversion, but it is not possible for BI Publisher to consume the Oracle report, while using it. So as I mentioned, in e-business suite, they were still using to make it as a two-step approach, where Oracle report was generating the XML and Publisher was creating the layout. So that is one way, but still, since the license is going away, I think you would rather like to have everything moved to BI Publisher than still, contain or remain with the Oracle reports.
Thank you. There's another one coming up. So is there a possibility to migrate Oracle reports to BI Publisher, or do we have to redevelop every report, especially when you have a huge number, like here, how to connect it to Oracle Forms? Probably Stefan, if you can answer here.
Yes, as we saw in the presentation, there is a definitely good way to migrate the reports to BI Publisher to speed up those projects. And they are connected to Forms in the same manner like Oracle reports before. You can, in 12c, Oracle Forms 12c, you have an Oracle BI Publisher object inside Forms, and you can address it in the same manner with one product, one report object as you did before. So yes, very tight and in the same manner like reports.
Thank you. Hope this answers so far. So the roadmap to migrate Oracle reports?
That's what I try to figure out, clean up, reduce complexity, and use the replacer kits to bring them to BI Publisher.
Okay. Oh yeah, this was a good question. Does it work with the Java web start when called from Forms?
Yeah, so BI Publisher is not, based on the applet kind of a thing. So it cannot be run through the Java web start. Oracle Form does, but Publisher does not.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. How BI Publisher integrate in Forms, ADF, or Apex? These are technologies that we drive, of course, as well. So yeah, Pradeep probably.
Yeah, so, yeah, quickly. So basically, all the three, uses the web services approach to integrate. So there is a out-of-the-box now integration with Oracle Forms, and then also Apex has a direct integration with BI Publisher. Internally, they both use web services. For ADF, there is no out-of-the-box integration available, but we do have a white paper available on the OTN website of Oracle, where we document how you can still leverage BI Publisher from ADF.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So I just see that we are running a bit out of time. Well, I know that we could not address all of your questions, but as promised, we will get back to you definitely. Tomorrow you will receive some more information. Anyway, if you have any questions, if you want to get in touch with you, if you have a project, if you need more detailed information about that, what you saw today, please get in touch with us at any time. We would be very happy to hear from you. You have some contact data here. In a follow-up, as promised, we provide more information to all attendees, to the registered contacts. You will find, by the way, also a recorded version, a link for some feedback from the polls, more answers to your questions. And yes, as I mentioned before, we had more than 150 registrations today, with only few not attending, so which is really incredible. So we know how important this topic is, and we're here to help. Would be very keen to hear from you. So at this point, thank you very much, Pradeep. Thank you very much, Stefan, for your great presentations. Let me thank you all attendees for your time. Stay tuned. We're looking forward to meeting you, and well, have a great day or a nice evening wherever you are. Goodbye.
Thank you very much as well. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me in this session.